Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Paul Triple H Levesque evidently is a huge supporter of WWE superstar Kevin Owens. In the storyline, the prizefighter was plunged into the main event 8 years ago when the company was forced to insert a new star at the last minute due to inaugural Universal Champion Finn Balor's injury. To this date, it remains Owens' sole world title reign. Speaking to Rikishi of Sports Illustrated, Kevin Owens discussed his relationship with Triple H and how it helps give him creative freedom. Owens, 40, is at a stage in his career where fans have grown to cheer for him after all the years of exceptional storytelling and character work. His fourth wall breaks is a comedic relief to fans because it retains common sense and continuity of storyline at the same time, as seen in the opening segment this past Friday. He openly articulated the step-by-step process of setting up a tag team main event when he interrupted the Grayson Waller effect, even calling out SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis to confirm. The prizefighter revealed that his material is more organic than before, and the whole idea of breaking the fourth wall was given a thumbs up by the Game, with whom he shares a very similar sense of humor. What has helped me bring that forward to the screen is definitely Triple H, taking over as Chief Content Officer, because he was kind of that way too. We have a very similar sense of humor. So it was a couple years ago when we were talking about how we were going to do a certain thing on the show. And I was half joking, can I just point out how ridiculous this is? And he goes, yeah, why not? And then it just became a thing. H/T/SI. While seeds were sown for a heel turn on SmackDown, Kevin Owens declared his loyalty to undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes this Friday. He confronted the notion later in the aforementioned interview. Kevin Owens confirms his WWE contract is set to expire in 2025 as of this writing. Kevin Owens' wrestling career, or at least his time in WWE, is nearing its end. He had mentioned that his contract would expire in 2025 and brought it up again during his interview with Sports Illustrated. At Bash in Berlin on August 31st, Kevin Owens will challenge the American Nightmare for the undisputed WWE Championship. It remains to be seen if the prizefighter manages to add another world title reign to his illustrious career come Saturday. Rikishi wants WWE to take top Raw superstar off television immediately. WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi continues to air his frustration over the booking of his son and Raw superstar, Jey Uso. The Samoan legend recently advised the company to take one half of the Usos off television, citing booking concerns. Jey Uso has arguably become one of the most entertaining acts on Monday night programming. His Yeet catchphrase and larger-than-life persona resonate deeply with the audience. However, main event Jey hasn't lived up to his moniker as he has been booked to lose high-profile matches, which has somewhat derailed the momentum he once had. Speaking on the latest episode of his Off the Top podcast, Rikishi questioned the Triple H-led company's decision not to book Jey Uso to either win the Money in the Bank contract or Intercontinental Championship. I feel the Yeet Man is getting this all organically. His popularity is all organically, he's got that vibe, he's got the swag, and it's just the WWE Universe loves the Yeet Man. And when it comes to putting together the Yeet Man in the right position as opportunities, there's no reason why the Yeet Man couldn't have won the Money in the Bank. There's no reason why the Yeet Man could not have an opportunity to be a main player at Intercontinental belt or just a World Championship belt, Rikishi said. The Samoan stinker revealed that he recently told his son to go on a hiatus. He feels the creative shouldn't put his son on TV if they don't intend to push him as a main event star. I feel that the Yeet Man is being put in a certain position for whatever reason is it. Doesn't make sense to me. And honestly, I told my boy, just take a break. Because if you can't figure this kid in where he needs to be, why have him on the show? He's not there to be an enhancement talent, he added. 45:41:46:46, Jey Uso has been with the Stamford-based promotion for over a decade. Rikishi, however, entertained the thought of main event Jay taking his talent elsewhere if WWE continues to downplay the Raw superstar. We already know, the kid is so good. WWE ain't the only spot. He could probably go to AEW if he wanted to write his own ticket, maybe more than what WWE is making on him. Jey Uso will be one of the participants in the upcoming Intercontinental Championship tournament to determine the number one contender for Braun Breaker's title. Will the former Bloodline member finally fulfill his prophecy? Only time will tell. Rikishi sat at his kitchen table, the morning sun casting long shadows across the room. A cup of coffee steamed in front of him, but he paid it no mind. His thoughts were far from the comforts of his home in California. His mind was in the ring, in the arenas, and the heart of the WWE universe. Specifically, his thoughts were focused on one man, Seth Rollins, the reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and a superstar who had been tearing it up on Monday Night Raw for months now. Rikishi had always been proud of his contributions to the wrestling business. His legacy was etched in the annals of WWE history, from his days as a member of the legendary Samoan wrestling family to his unforgettable moments in the ring, like dancing alongside Too Cool or being a part of the notorious Attitude Era. But today, he felt a heavy burden on his shoulders. It wasn't about his own legacy, it was about the future of the business, and more importantly, the well-being of its superstars. Seth Rollins was at the top of his game, no doubt about that. His matches were thrilling, his promos were on point, and his connection with the fans was undeniable. But Rikishi had been around long enough to see the warning signs, to recognize when a wrestler was pushing themselves too far, too fast. And Rollins, in Rikishi's eyes, was on the verge of burning out. Rikishi's phone buzzed on the table, breaking his train of thought. It was a text from his cousin, Roman Reigns. The message was brief: need to talk. It's about Seth. Rikishi frowned, his concern growing. Roman was the current face of the company, the tribal chief, and a man who rarely reached out unless it was serious. Rikishi quickly typed a response, agreeing to a call later that day. But his mind was already racing, piecing together the puzzle. As the hours passed, Rikishi couldn't shake the feeling that something had to be done. He had seen too many careers cut short by injury or burnout. He had watched as superstars, driven by their passion for the business, pushed themselves to the brink, only to be sidelined for months, or worse, forced into early retirement. The WWE schedule was relentless, and even a talent as gifted as Seth Rollins wasn't immune to its toll. When Roman finally called, Rikishi could hear the tension in his cousin's voice. "USO, I'm worried about Seth," Roman said without preamble. "He's been going nonstop for months now. Title defenses, house shows, media appearances, he's not slowing down. And I'm starting to see cracks. He won't admit it, but I can tell he's hurting." Rikishi sighed, leaning back in his chair. "I've been thinking the same thing, Roman. I've seen it before, with guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, even Shawn Michaels back in the day. They all hit a point where they needed to step back, recharge, or else, well, you know how it goes." Roman was silent for a moment, the weight of his responsibilities evident. "I don't want to see Seth go down that path. He's too important to Raw, to the company. But more than that, he's a friend. I can't stand by and watch him destroy himself." Rikishi nodded, even though Roman couldn't see him. "You're right, and I think it's time we step in. We need to convince WWE management to pull him from TV, at least for a little while. Let him rest, recover, come back stronger. If they don't, they're going to lose one of their biggest stars, and maybe for good." The idea of taking a top superstar like Seth Rollins off television was risky, to say the least. Rollins was the World Heavyweight Champion, the face of Monday Night Raw, and one of the most popular wrestlers on the roster. His absence would leave a gaping hole in the show's lineup, and the fans would undoubtedly have questions. But Rikishi knew it was a necessary move. The alternative was far worse. Roman agreed. "I'll talk to Vince, to Triple H. But I need your support, USO. They respect you, they know your experience. If you back me up, they'll listen. Rikishi didn't hesitate. I'm with you, Roman. Whatever it takes. Let's get Seth the time he needs. Over the next few days, Roman and Rikishi worked together, crafting their argument, gathering evidence. They spoke to other wrestlers who had noticed the same things: Seth's fatigue, his lingering injuries, the strain he was under. They knew it wouldn't be an easy sell, but they were determined. Finally, the day came for the meeting. Rikishi found himself back in the WWE headquarters, a place he hadn't visited in years. The familiar corridors brought back memories, but today wasn't about nostalgia. It was about the future. Roman and Rikishi were ushered into a conference room where Vince McMahon, Triple H, and a few other top executives were waiting. Vince, as always, looked every bit the commanding presence he was, but Rikishi could see the curiosity in his eyes. He knew why they were here, but he didn't know the full extent of their plan. Roman spoke first, laying out their concerns. He was calm, collected, but there was an urgency to his words that made everyone in the room pay attention. Rikishi followed, drawing on his years of experience, his knowledge of the business. He talked about the physical and mental toll of being a top superstar, about the risks of pushing too hard for too long. When they were done, there was a heavy silence in the room. Vince leaned back in his chair, considering their words. Finally, he spoke. "You make a compelling case," he said slowly. "Seth is one of our biggest assets, and we can't afford to lose him. But pulling him from TV, it's a big step. The fans will notice, they'll demand answers." Rikishi nodded. "We can handle that. Let him drop the title in a high-stakes match, something that keeps him strong. Then, say he's taking time off to recover from injuries. It's the truth, and the fans will respect that. When he comes back, he'll be bigger than ever." Vince exchanged a glance with Triple H, who gave a slight nod. It was clear they were both weighing the pros and cons. Finally, Vince turned back to Rikishi and Roman. "All right," he said. "We'll do it. But this better work. If Seth comes back stronger, it'll be worth it. If not, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it." Rikishi felt a sense of relief wash over him. It was the right decision, he knew it. Now, all that was left was to see it through. As they left the meeting, Roman clapped Rikishi on the back. "Thanks, USO. We did the right thing." Rikishi smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "Yeah, we did. Now let's make sure Seth gets the time he needs. The WWE will be here when he's ready to come back."